Hi everyone, welcome to Online Remedial English Class, an online academy for DSS and SS students to focus on areas of problems, areas of weaknesses in order to make you improve and have better improvements when it comes to your English language or mastery of English language. Now, let's get started. Handwriting and writing skills. I remember telling some senior secondary school students, SS1 and SS2, to write letters of alphabet because I observed that, for instance, when students do not have legible handwriting, of course, such individuals have just robbed themselves or will rob themselves of the excellent mark that they are supposed to have. When teachers, when examiners cannot read what is written down. So as trivial, as insignificant this topic may look like, it is the foundational and it is the basis of your English language learning. If we have problems, then we should go back to the foundation. So I urge you, please, to pay attention. Now, talking about handwriting and writing skills. When you talk about handwriting, you know putting down letters together to form words, to form sentences. And writing essentially in this context refer to your essay, refer to your article, refer to your letters. Now, let me remind you of the rules for writing. Rules for writing or handwriting. The rules for writing or handwriting. Let's start with these. The rules for writing or handwriting. Okay. In the elementary school, I know you were taught that always start a sentence with capital letter and it's with a full stop. Hope you still remember your sign, the punctuation mark, full stop, the sign. This is the beginning of our journey to success when it comes to essay writing. No, the way we write is not the same way we talk. And then students, candidates are always falling victims of writing without appropriate punctuation marks, even without starting with capital letter. Please be intentional, be deliberate about all these simple rules. They matter a lot. So when you start your writing, ensure you start with a capital letter and ensure you end with a full stop. But I need to add, there are other punctuation marks that can end a sentence or end sentences, such as question mark and such as exclamation mark. That is to say, full stop, question mark, and exclamation mark can be used to end a sentence. Okay, let me deal with this before coming to this. When you have questions such as, what is the name of that man? There is a question mark, therefore there is no need to put another punctuation mark. It is inappropriate to do that. Secondly, it is a goal. What you are supposed to have there is exclamation mark. Therefore, you do not need to put exclamation mark. Please take note of that. Now let's come back to full stop and let's come back to start your sentence with capital letter. The first class activity, even though I will not be able to see your work, the first activity, write capital letter of English alphabet. Then write the small letter or uppercase, lowercase letters of, okay, of English language. Let me stop that. Let's take notes. Why this? Oh, this is too simple. Simple, and yet many students are being penalized for doing the wrong thing, even in the senior secondary school certificate examination. So let's come back to this. For instance, let's have this demonstration. In our notebook, of course, we always have lines and spaces. Lines and spaces. Of course, it is expected. For instance, you have capital letter A. The line are meant to do particular function, and that is ensure that your letter are sitting on the lines. So to write a capital letter A and like this or like this is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And yes, you may be having your own style. Please learn the correct thing. Some students will write E like this. No, it's wrong. Your capital letter E should look something like this. Capital letter F is not like this, it's like this. So please take note of all this. Always start your sentence with capital letter and ensure it is legible, easy to be seen and read, and if not this too. That is why you should avoid all this style of writing. Ensure you make your work easy, because you will not be there to explain to the examiner that, oh, I wrote A, I wrote B. No, please, you can avoid some of these problems. Alright, so you have A. We can also move on to B. This is wrong because it's not sitting on the line, so we should have something like this. Capital letter B. And then our small letter B should be something like this. It should sit on the line. Small letter B. Ensure you do that. Ensure you do that. And I've always advocate that when you have your capital letter, the words big and small letter, they connote size. You can have small letter A or small letter B. Let's use A now. I say this is small letter, it's big. So ensure if capital letter A is as big as this within the lines, not above, not leaving the line, not going below it, not above it, not below it, then ensure that your small letter, the same thing applies to every other letter. Ensure that your small letter is the half size of the capital. Something like this we do. Alright, I'm not satisfied with this. Something like this we do. Please take note of that. Ensure you have capital letter starting your sentence or sentences and small letter, full stop to end your sentence. The children are playing in the garden. The children are playing in the garden. Full stop, capital letter, full stop. Ensure it is like this. The second point, which is very, very, very important, is avoid inappropriate use of small and big letters, in upper and lower case. Please. The meaning of that is where you are supposed to use small letter, do not use capital letter. For instance, a student is writing something like this: the name of my school is. You can have this. This is unacceptable. And you see intelligent students, because they are careless, because it's not really a major, or how do I put it? The point is, it is unacceptable. No matter how you look at it, you can't have capital letter, in the position where you're supposed to have a small letter. Please take note of that. The same thing goes for small letter. You can't have capital letter where you are supposed to have small letter and vice versa. Please take note of that. Okay, you are starting a sentence. Because if you do that, you're breaking the second rule. Starting a sentence and you're writing a small letter. That is absolutely unacceptable. The third rule, and it's important to note that for your proper nouns are nouns that state or names given to specific persons, places, and things. Alright. The first letter of proper noun should be written in capital letter. In any position of the sentence. Please take note of this. In any position of the sentence, initial, medial, final, wherever you meet any proper noun, ensure the first letter is written in capital. For instance, e.g., you have 1. My name is Peter. Peter, capital. Right as my name anyway. Then the name of my school is Shalom Heritage School. So what is the point? It is inappropriate for us to put this down as a small letter, sorry please, small letter and as a small letter. It's important to take note of that. I can move on to say the name of my church, every first letter of the word, in case you have phrases or group of words, must be in capital letter. When you are writing your letters, either formal or informal, all the words that you have in your addresses usually should take a capital letter because there are specific names of a street, names of a town, names of a state, alright, also name of a country, as the case may be. Please take note of this. It will not be good that you are making this mistake and you are losing minus half mark because of capital letter and small letter. Please take note of that. Now the fourth one. There are some letters, big and small letters that have the same shape. So you are expected to differentiate them well. Okay? Differentiate letters that have the same forms. That is, letters that have the same forms from capital letter and small letter. Now letters like that, you remember, let's start with S. When you put down capital letter S, like this, excuse me, capital letter S, you are expected to give us something of half of this size. There is something like this. So you cannot have translate, for instance, translate, and I'm doing this. Translate, this is absolutely wrong. So, we have more. C, take notes of letters like this, capital letter G. The small letter is dropping, the small letter is broken. There are letters like that. It's inappropriate for us to write small letter G like this. These are some of the things we need to pay attention to. So please take note. Okay, this should not be here. Excuse me. We have different forms. That one should not be there. We have V. We have letter V. How many other including yours S? So please, what is the point? Ensure that you are able to differentiate the capital, the big from the small, for letters that have the same shape like this. You can't always write them as the same, giving them the same size. Big, small, connote size. Especially for letters of this kind, ensure adequate attention is paid to this point. Alright, avoid inappropriate use of apostrophe. Appropriate indiscriminate use of apostrophe. Many candidates are usually guilty of this. For instance, you have the headmasters is coming. The headmasters is coming. Of course, apostrophe is used for 3 functions, and the one that is common or that is used the most is the usage that is common is to show possession. It can also show singular and plural, right? But let's stay with to show possession. There is no object that is possessed by the headmaster. So this is an example of wrong use. You are writing SAS, I see that a lot of time. SAS, mass. These are rubbish. So please avoid this kind of thing. You do not need to put apostrophe when there is nothing that is being possessed. Alright, and by that I mean the boy school bag. Meaning the bag belonged to the boy. So this construction is of course different from this, and there is a necessity to use apostrophe as it is used here. Please take note of that. Avoid inappropriate. I made a mistake there too. Alright, because of that, I remember something. Number 6. In fact, then it was more like a song. Always dot your I and cross your T. Dot your I. If there is no dot for small letter I, it will look like one, it will look like a slash. You will not be able to differentiate it. Is it punctuation mark? Is it number? Is it letter? So it's important you dot your I. Then you cross your T. Always dot your I and cross your small letter T and capital letter T. T is not like this. I'm saying to them writing capital letter T like this. Looking like 7. Please avoid all this kind of thing. It's important you do for your own good. For your own good. Alright? That is number 6. Number 6. Now number 7. Number 7. Let me quickly bring in this. Words are usually marked to be independent by spacing. And by that I mean, after a word, there should be a space. The space should be able to contain at least 1, let me say even 2 letters. Okay, 2 letters should be able to be after a word. So leave that space. It is necessary that you do that. Okay, see mine? Oh, this is not a good T2. The space, first, space, of, space, space, space. So now what is the problem? Joining or amalgamation of words is wrong. I live in Lagos. Imagine this. This is unacceptable. Instead of I live in Lagos. Right, let me quickly bring in this. Do you see that this capital letter I, this capital letter I, wherever you have it, wherever you have capital letter I, please ensure it is capital. It can be small. If it is standing alone, it must be. And a good capital letter I is like this. It is not this one. It is not this one. It is this. Please take note of that. Now, number 8 is splitting, dividing, splitting of words. Words that are meant to be singular units, and you're now dividing them. By that space, you are saying that the first part is a word on its own, the second part is a word on its own. For instance, you have the word land, and you see students leaving space, then putting which. Language. It's wrong. Instead of writing the two together. So do not space. Do not give space for a word that do not need the space. You see something like now, because it sounded like a word on its own, then leaving a space, then this. This is absolutely wrong. More, okay, then over, instead of moreover. Okay, nowadays, you have students doing this and lot of time doing this. Okay, let me have one more. You have none, because it's looking like a word on its own, okay? You see, the, and then less, instead of what? Nonetheless. Sorry, nonetheless. So please, we should pay adequate attention to these errors. They can be robbers of your marks. Please do not allow this to happen to you. Then, the last but not the least for this class, we should have phonetic misspelling. Phonetic misspelling. There is a problem of homophones where the sound alike but have different spelling. And you see students, candidates, okay, confusing hard with egg, confusing there with what? There, like their back. Okay, when I got there instead of there. See students, replacing ones for ones. The elderly ones in my area are well educated, and you are putting O-N-C-E. We have many words in this category. Please, I will implore you, go spend more time on this. Do not forget, if you are able to have a good mastery of these rules, you are going to have number 1, good handwriting, and then number 2, you will be able to convey your thoughts in a clear and smooth, flawless, impeccable ways. You will be able to show a good level of mastery of your English language. Please do not forget that. Alright? to see if there's anything left unsaid, untold. But if there is, we can always do more studying. Alright, thank you for joining the class today. I am Peter Oyedele. Thank you.